All right, welcome to the Explainer. Today we're diving into what is literally one of the greatest, most passionately argued automotive debates of all time. Manual versus automatic transmissions. People get super fired up about this, right? But today, we're skipping the opinions, we're looking strictly at the science, the data, and the actual engineering under the hood. So, manual or automatic? We're going to look at the hard mechanical facts, real-world fuel efficiency data, and actual driver comfort metrics to figure out which system truly reigns supreme. Whether you're a total purist who absolutely loves the feel of a stick shift, or maybe you're someone who just wants a nice seamless commute, the facts we're about to uncover, yeah, they might actually surprise you. Now, looking right here at the heart of the powertrain, it's a great reminder of its universal job. Regardless of what type of transmission it is, its whole purpose is transferring power from the engine to the wheels, all while keeping the engine's RPMs in that perfect optimal range. I mean, think about it. Without a transmission, our cars would either have incredible pulling power but totally max out at like 5 miles per hour, or they'd be geared for top speed but completely unable to even move from a standstill. It's a real balancing act. So here's our matchup for today. We'll start with the heart of the car, peek inside the manual gearbox, see how automatics shift themselves, tackle the fuel efficiency battle, look at driving comfort and fatigue, and finally give you the final verdict. Let's get right into it. Section 1. The heart of the car. Let's look at some basic powertrain mechanics. Okay, so the magic really all comes down to gear ratios. Whether you're in there rowing the gears yourself or letting a sophisticated computer do all the heavy lifting, varying gear sizes is exactly how you generate torque for starting and speed for cruising. It's exactly like riding a multi-speed bicycle. When a smaller gear drives a larger gear, you get high torque, which is absolutely perfect for pulling away from a red light. But as your vehicle speeds up, you need the exact opposite. You need a larger gear driving a smaller one to maintain that speed without completely redlining your engine. Every single transmission operates on this one foundational principle. Moving on to Section 2. Inside the manual gearbox, let's explore that direct mechanical control. Now, I want you to really think about the sheer mechanical workload your limbs are handling here. When you drive a manual, you are physically doing the work, right? First, you push the clutch to completely disconnect the engine's power. Then, as you move the stick, a selector fork, which is basically acting like a little mechanical arm, slides a shift sleeve along the lay shaft. But wait, before those gears can lock together, they literally have to be spinning at the exact same speed. That's where the synchronizer comes in. It pushes a blocker ring against the gear cone, using friction to equalize the shaft speeds so the teeth can mesh smoothly. Actually, it's pretty wild when you realize you're orchestrating all of this complex mechanical harmony every single time you shift. Section 3. How automatics shift themselves. Let's check out the automated side of things. So instead of a clutch pedal and a direct mechanical link, traditional automatics use some seriously heavy fluid dynamics. The engine drives what's called a torque converter. And you can sort of think of a torque converter like two desk fans facing each other. You know, you turn one on and the air physically spins the blades of the other one. But instead of air, this system uses pressurized hydraulic fluid to transfer the power. Inside the transmission itself, instead of gears physically sliding back and forth, you have a planetary gear set. This involves sun gears, planet gears, and a ring gear constantly meshed together. The system actually changes gear ratios simply by clamping down brake bands to stop certain gears from spinning. And the whole shebang is controlled by fluid pressure and electronic sensors. Pretty ingenious, right? But of course, automotive engineering didn't just stop there. Continuously variable transmissions, or CVTs, completely change the game. They actually ditch fixed gears entirely. No way, right? Instead of stepping from first to second to third like traditional systems, a CVT smoothly adjusts its ratios on the fly. This allows the engine to constantly just glide right into its most efficient operating range without any interruption in power whatsoever. And then we have the dual clutch transmission, the DCT. These systems, which, by the way, are still heavily used in modern race cars, basically act like two manual transmissions merged into one unit. It's really cool. One clutch handles the even gears and the other handles the odd ones. The computer is literally priming the next gear before you even know you need it, offering these lightning-fast shifts that a human driver could just never, ever replicate. So looking at them side by side, the contrast is super stark. Over on the manual side, you have this beautiful mechanical simplicity. Lay shafts, synchronizers, and a totally direct physical link between you and the machine. On the automatic side, you've got incredibly complex computer-controlled hydraulics and planetary gears. Now, manuals have fewer moving parts, which generally makes them cheaper to buy and cheaper to repair. But those automatics, they're managing thousands of data points a second to totally optimize your drive. Which brings us to Section 4, the fuel efficiency battle. Let's talk about saving money at the pump. For decades, the conventional wisdom was always that manuals got much better gas mileage. But look closely at these numbers. Out on the highway, the manual still holds a very slight edge, 18.6 kilometers per liter compared to 17.9 for the auto. And that's because cruising at steady, constant speeds allows a manual to really benefit from its direct mechanical link, meaning fewer power losses. But look at the urban environment. Automatics completely dominate here, getting 14.8 kilometers per liter compared to a manual's 13.2. That's a huge difference. So, why the huge difference in the city? Well, it's because a computer's adaptive shift logic in modern CVTs and DCTs is just flat out more efficient at handling erratic city traffic than a human driver. Let's be real. In stop-and-go conditions, a human driver will often hold a gear way too long or maybe rev too high while slipping the clutch, and that just wastes fuel. The automated system, though, it instantly adapts. It keeps the engine perfectly in its sweet spot, cutting down on wasted energy with absolutely zero hesitation. All right, Section 5, driving comfort and fatigue. We've talked about the machine, now let's focus on the human toll. And that human toll is actually heavily documented in driver surveys. Just look at these scores on a 1 to 10 scale. Automated gearboxes drastically outperform manuals across the board here. For clutch and pedal effort, automatics score a massive 9.1 compared to the manual's 5.2. Smoothness of shifts, that jumps from a 6.0 in manuals to an 8.7 in automatics. The data is super clear on this. Automated gearboxes significantly reduce driver fatigue and really minimize cabin vibration. We really have to consider the human factors in ergonomics. I mean, anyone who's been stuck in gridlock for an hour knows the dreaded left leg clutch cramp, right? Navigating heavy traffic with a manual transmission significantly spikes your physical and cognitive workload. Your left leg is constantly being strained by repeated clutch engagement. Your brain is busy calculating shift points instead of just simply watching the road. Plus, every single manual shift creates a micro interruption in power delivery, which causes that familiar cabin jerkiness. Automatics literally remove all of this, allowing you to just sit back, focus on steering, and maintain your spatial awareness. And finally, Section 6, the final verdict. Let's tally it all up. So here is the reality of the situation. Manuals definitely have a lower upfront cost, they are generally simpler to maintain, they offer a truly unmatched level of mechanical engagement, and yes, they still squeak out a win for pure highway efficiency. But automated systems, whether we're talking about traditional torque converters, CVTs, or those lightning-fast DCTs, they really represent the modern trajectory of mobility. They deliver superior driver comfort, they utilize advanced adaptive logic, and they are, without a doubt, the undeniable champions of urban fuel efficiency. So, I'll leave you with this to ponder. Next time you're out to buy a car, what's it going to be? Will you choose the mechanical purity and physical involvement of the stick shift, or are you going to let the computer take the wheel to give you maximum comfort and urban efficiency? There is definitely no wrong answer here, but understanding the engineering behind both makes the choice a whole lot more fascinating, doesn't it? Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and keep asking those good questions.